You know, I apologize in advance for the numerous mispronunciations that I will most likely do throughout this entire video, but I think it might be worth it, because we have a great album to talk about right here. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Letrux. I will admit that I did not know about this artist up until this point. This album seemingly popped up out of the blue, and it kind of took me by surprise in all honesty. Let's start at the beginning. Letrux is a singer, alt-rocker, songwriter, musician born out of Brazil, making some interesting synth-pop mixed in with alt-rock. And this style and this sound all came together on her 2017 debut album, Letrux, I'm not going to pronounce that crap. A very fun, playful party album that had a lot of bangers on there, and my precursory listens, I thought it was very enjoyable. Now on this new album, she followed it up 3 years later. There was a remix album in between there. However, this album is way more serious in a way. For one, this album is not as playful, as bouncy, as fun as her debut. Letrux comes off more poetic, but still maintaining that character, that personality that was found on her debut, exuding more elements of introspection as well as existential longing. Still quite humorous, very sexual and vulgar as well. Yes, those two descriptors I would not expect to be on an album like this, but it comes through. And maybe I don't say it quite often, but explicit content and material in music, it works in doses for me. But on this album, maybe since it's from another language and I'm not understanding everything that's being said on this record, it doesn't hit me as hard as maybe an English-speaking album. There is English spoken on this album. There's also a little bit of Spanish and mostly Portuguese, but the English spoken on this record mostly happens within the last song, Cry Something Awkward, which is more of a spoken word piece that just details, I'll just show the lyrics on screen, because yeah. And by default, it's probably the weakest song on here. I think it could have ended the album off in an interesting way, and as the ending of this album like this, it's alright. I mean, it's a song that I don't listen to, but at least I can kind of forget it exists. However, the other 12 tracks on this album are gold, solid, just 24 karat gold. Essentially what you're getting on this album is a mixture of alt-rock sounds mixed in with synth-pop and art pop. Song FORA de Fonda sounds more like a anachronistic 2000s R&B song, but it incorporates elements of synth-pop, of just pop in general. It all comes together in such a beautiful, gorgeous track. The pinnacle of the song near the end is just absolutely incredible. A few of the songs on this album almost sound transcendental in a way, just how beautiful and sparse and lush a lot of these instrumentals are. There are also some moments that sound straight up like alt-rock, like on the song CONTANTO Até Que or SENTE o Drama, which both songs have these really righteous alt-rock riffs. Also, the energy that Letrux has on these songs in particular sounds like the energy that a lead singer for an alt-rock band of the 2000s would have. But it's orchestrated in such a really good way, in such a just an amazing way. I will say the second half of this album is not as punchy or as lush and gorgeous as the first half of this album is, but the second half of this album features a little more of an introspection rather than more of like a visceral feeling to them. And the songs still come out incredibly enjoyable too. The song Salve Poseidon kind of sounds like what LaRue is trying to accomplish on their latest effort. It has this synth pop throwback to it that it's just so beautifully nostalgic. Track after track after track, this album features some of my favorite songs I've heard this year. And they all come from different styles, but they're not too far apart to be disconnected in any way, shape, or form. But they're not so close together to have an album that's just kind of just constantly running through the same ideas over and over and over again. These styles and these sounds very much complement each other in the best of ways. And while I can't fully dissect the lyrics of this album, I personally think this album is very well written. I don't hear a lot of the same lyrics repeated over and over and over again, and I would like to think that the lyrics are well written, well-rounded, they come from a genuine place of heart, and Letrux vocally across this entire record shows just how incredible of a vocalist she is, getting in her higher register at some of the best moments. And when she hits those moments, ooh. Again, there were some moments that maybe felt a little alright and just alright, but consistently this album just hits you with another enjoyable song after another enjoyable song after another enjoyable song. I really like this album. I really like this album a lot, and I like that this album reassures my feelings on doing something like this. Just talking about music in general, because if I wasn't an avid music fan, I wouldn't have stumbled across this. I would have missed out on something that I love so goddamn much. It's a gorgeous record that I really want everyone to listen to, or at least check this out. Just please do. And don't let the language barrier hold you back from fully appreciating this album and fully loving this record. Just pretend it's just another instrument that you just like a lot. Okay, it just embellishes everything about this album. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. There's just so much quality material on this album. I love it a lot. I really do. Please check this out. I guess that's all I have to say. I'll give this album an A, and I'll be on my way. But I am curious to know, are you going to listen to this album? Please do. Please do. Leave a like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Let me know how I can improve future videos down below. Remember, this is only my opinion because music is subjective.